Welcome to another episode of Just Elite. And with me today is Bethany Shadburne. Bethany, welcome to the podcast. An absolute pleasure to
Thank you.
have you here. We are at the start or almost at the start of a new season, not the end that you wanted for your 2021 season. I don't want to
Yeah.
go into too depth about that because I think you've covered it so much, and it can't be pleasant to chat about what happened there. But tell us about after the games, after you recovered, how is training going? How is preparation going for the next season?
Yeah. It's actually, so I keep saying this to myself and I truly believe this. It's even though it ended the way that it did, it was definitely my best season I've ever had as far as just how I felt and how healthy I was. So that was like a really big success for me. And that was kind of like the goal going into, I guess, the 2021 season was to just be healthy because I haven't had one healthy season yet. And so post, I guess, COVID, it's it's kind of just been a little bit more of a downhill. But I really truly believe that I'm getting everything out now. That way, 2022, when it actually starts, I'm going to feel amazing. So yeah, I've just been dealing with like a couple of just nagging things, unfortunately, but I feel like that's the name of the game. Like you just start training, 4 to 6 hours a day. And of course you're going to have nagging things that kind of hurt you. I had like a silly thing where I rolled my ankle like 2 weeks ago and I was like, I haven't rolled my ankle since I was like 12. Like this is such a random thing. So dealing with that and then dealing with a little bit of some nerve pain down my arm right now. So having to modify a little bit, but kind of like I said a couple moments ago, I really truly believe that I'm getting everything out now. It's just kind of like an extension of what COVID has brought into my life. And then it's going to be amazing for 2022. So still thinking positive. And I think the biggest thing is that not being a victim of it too, like not having that victim mindset. And so that's kind of how I've approached these little things that have come into my life right now. It's like, don't be a victim of a rolled ankle because it's really easy to, right? Like you can just allow it to be super stiff and limp for like 6 weeks. And I was like, nope, not going to happen. I was like, I'm just going to keep moving it and do what I can. So that's kind of my mindset right now.
Yeah, I think it must be frustrating, specifically being a professional athlete. Just for average day CrossFitters rolling your ankle, it's frustrating because now you have to modify everything. But I mean, your bread and butter doesn't depend on your rolled ankle. It's just frustrating because you want to go all out in the workout. But understandable for athletes like yourself, and training 4 to 6 hours a day, as you said, and not being able to compete at the games, the biggest stage of them all. That's what you guys are training for the whole year. I just want to touch on recovering from COVID, Bethany. How did you recover? Do you feel like you've physically completely recovered from that? And can these small niggly things be an after effect of what your body went through?
Yeah, no, I feel fully recovered from COVID. It probably took like a month. I didn't have my taste or smell, so that was probably like the saddest part of it all. I love coffee, so it was really sad not being able to taste coffee for about 4 weeks. And honestly, I don't feel like I have my smell back all the way. It's kind of weird. But other than that, like my chest feels good. I think for a little bit, I did have a little bit of tightness in the chest throughout the month of August. But when I got back home, I just allowed myself to rest and recover. I honestly just wanted to sleep all the time. So I slept like 12 plus hours every day. And then I woke up still feeling exhausted. And I was like, well, all right, I'm not 100% yet. But after like 2 weeks of that, I just decided, I was like, well, I have all this monostructural pieces in my apartment. So I just started getting on the machine and moving because, after a while, you can't also be a victim of that too. Because I feel like if you just sit in your stew with that, then you'll just kind of make it worse. So I just decided, I was like, well, I'm just going to start sweating and moving a little bit and just see how I feel. And of course, it was uncomfortable at first. And it was just kind of a mixture of probably not doing anything for about 3 weeks. And then also maybe a little bit of COVID related. And then also the elevation here. I mean, it's not a lot, but if you leave for about 2 weeks and then come back to it, it's like, whoo. So I couldn't tell if it was the elevation or COVID or just a mixture of it. But yeah, I just kind of started getting into a groove of just moving a lot and kind of just pushing through that uncomfortableness that kind of happens with, being sick or taking time off.
I just have to add that when I had COVID in December last year, I lost my taste and my smell. Now, Bethany, I don't drink or smoke. I only exercise and I eat. Now, taking away my taste, I actually experienced serious trauma.
It's really sad.
It was over Christmas. I couldn't taste all of the yummy food. It was
so sad.
traumatic. It took 3 weeks for my taste to come back, but a whole 3 months for my smell to come back. So I understand when you say your smell isn't back 100%. It comes and goes. It came back, and then I'm like, I can smell something, and then the next day, nope, it's gone again.
Yeah.
So no, that takes a while. But I'm very happy to hear that you physically recovered very well. It took me about 3 months.
Yes.
After a while, I was like, what is happening? I don't understand. I'm not getting better. Like, it's not. And then all of a sudden, one day you just wake up and you're fine. So I'm very, very happy. So tell us about, okay, so you did your structural work at home. And when did you go back to proper training again? Because I know you've got the Zelos games. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. You've got that going on. So you couldn't take too long off, but obviously you had to give your body the right amount of time to recover from all of this.
Right. Yeah, I took about, I think I've been in the CrossFit gym for about 5 weeks. Like 2 weeks after I got back from Madison and kind of recovered from that, I started going into just like the Globo gym and doing some like bodybuilding work. And I always revert back to that because that's where I feel like the healthiest and just moving and grooving. So, and it's like, I was going to do that anyways. Like my plan was honestly didn't change that much from if I did compete at the games and didn't. I just decided that I was going to take a little time off and then, do bodybuilding for a little bit, monostructural work, and then get back into the gym around September. And so pretty much my game plan stayed the same with that. So that was good. But yeah, kind of just doing the Zealous games a little bit. I didn't do luckily the way they have it set up, you can sign up per week or per event. So I didn't do this last one, but I'll probably do week 3 and 4. But yeah, my goal right now is to prepare and get ready for Wadapalooza in January. So that's kind of like my next competition. But I'm also leaving it up to my body. If my body ends up not feeling 100% by then I'll just kind of back out and bow down and wait for the season to start. But if my body is feeling good, then I'm going to go for it. So, but I'm just kind of doing Wadapalooza to be able to put my body through like a 3 or 4 day competition, just because I didn't get to experience that with the games. So I probably wouldn't be doing it if I did the CrossFit Games, but because I didn't get to, I want to put myself through a little bit of trauma. I think it's going to be a 4-day competition. So
that's why you do what you do. That's why you do what you do.
I know. We're the weirdos that like to do that. But yeah, just to put myself through a little bit of that and then have time to, recover and rest and recoup for the season to start.
Not to put salt in the wounds, Bethany, but you were a serious podium contender for this year's games. I think everybody saw your performance at the semifinals. What changed in the 2021 season for you? Was there a mind shift? Because you've been with Justin Kotler and them in Vegas. Of course, you've got a brilliant training camp going on there. So what was it that changed for you?
I think it's a mixture of a lot of things. I think it was switching my environment. I was born and raised in Austin, Texas, and I love that place, and that's where all my family's there. But I felt like I kind of hit my ceiling, and I truly believe that iron sharpens iron at the end of the day. So being able to train with just other amazing athletes definitely leveled me up a lot. But also having a great coach that truly cares and just really, I think he does and I always say this in every podcast, but he really does a good job of catering to everybody, because he kind of went from just having Kari I think he had other athletes remotely, but just having Kari to having 6 other athletes. And he did a phenomenal job of just literally catering to everybody and everybody's needs. And I think everybody can speak to that if with any of the athletes. So that was like a really good, I guess, like great thing that happened. And then also just working on stuff outside the gym. I don't think I've ever really truly worked on like the mindset part. And like when you go to the CrossFit Games or you go to a big competition or even just during the season, like everyone's fit, like we're all great athletes, but it's who can mentally kind of just stay stable for those 4 days of competing or 15 competitions or events or whatever it looks like. And really doing that mindset part has been a huge, huge help for me. So I'm really big into journaling every morning. I also have a huge faith. So I do like a devotion every morning and pray and all of that. And I feel like that was just like a huge game changer for me, So, and just trying to keep more of like either a neutral mindset or positive mindset throughout like things that happen, right? Because things are going to happen in life. We're not going to have this perfect life that all of a sudden you're never going to have any troubles or storms that come your way. So I think just having a better mindset during those storms is what can carry you, longer in life.
So you said you felt it was time for a change and iron sharpens iron. So how did you end up in Vegas with Justin? I mean, he's a phenomenal coach. He's been known in the community for many, many years. And obviously he trained or still trains Kari Pearce. So how did that happen?
So we all have the same manager. So me, Kari, and Danielle have the same manager, Cooper. Mm-hmm. And I had reached out to, I talk to Cooper every other day, but a couple of years ago, I was like, hey, Cooper, like I'm looking to move, but I want it to be like smart. I don't want to just like move to Iowa for no reason, right? And I was like, if you know of any opportunities, let me know. And last summer is when Kari and Justin moved from New York to Las Vegas. And he was like, hey, well, Kari's going out to Vegas. Do you have any interest of going out there? And I was like, never been to Vegas before. I've literally never been to Vegas. So I was like, well, I guess I can go like check it out and see how it is. And so I went out there last November and really fell in love with it. And I fell in love with just the training that was going on and just how Kari like carried herself and just the type of person that she was and just super positive and such a great role model. But so that was like, just like when I got here, it was almost like love at first sight. And there's just so much more to Vegas than just the Strip. And people that have only been to the Strip or have never been to Vegas don't know that. And so it's a great training area. There's the elevation, there's the dryness, there's mountains surrounding you everywhere. So that definitely was a huge positive for me. And plus,
that's a big decision to pack up your life and move to a different city with a new coach. Was it stressful making that decision?
No, I actually had a ton of peace about it. And I thought it was going to be kind of like stressful and scary because I lived in Austin, Texas for 27 years and never moved out and literally lived in the same area. So I was kind of worried about that, but I got here and it instantly felt like home. And I think it's just because of the people that are here, the community that I have, and just the mindset kind of going into it as well. I was ready for it.
If I want to get to what your plans look ahead, because you've been in the sport for a while and you've got a bright future still ahead of you. I think you're still hungry for that podium spot. But let's go back a bit. How did you end up in CrossFit and what was the initial plan? Because all of us go, we have this idea in our head before CrossFit came along because CrossFit is so new. So what was the initial plan and how did you venture into this?
Yeah. Oh, shoot. Sorry, I have a phone call. Delete. Sorry about that.
Not a problem.
It was a random phone call. But yeah, so I was a competitive gymnast growing up. That was like the main sport that I did. And ended up hurting my back really bad, long story short, and had to quit. So I tried to do anything and everything that kind of was a fit that kind of felt like gymnastics. So did a hodgepodge of sports of long distance running and track and cross country in high school to triathlons to obstacle course racing to bodybuilding, and then finally found CrossFit. I was always against it for a really long time. And especially when you go into bodybuilding, bodybuilders are like, CrossFit's stupid. And I was like, yeah, CrossFit's stupid. I'll never do it. And then somehow just fell into it. I think my first workout was Murph. And after that I was hooked. I don't know why, because I have a crazy mindset, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. So I kind of fell in love after that and started like competing locally and realized that I was okay at it. And I was like, oh, maybe I should pursue this. But my goal going into CrossFit was podium. I would really like to podium one day, but I think more importantly, I want to use it as a stepping stone to pursue other passions. And so podium would just be like the cherry on top. But I really kind of went into it as I want to do this for longevity. So as long as I can. And so I tried to take baby steps, kind of trying not to switch everything at once, if that makes sense. So like when I did the other things like the long distance running and triathlons, I really went 1000% in head deep, and I got burnt out really quickly with it. And so with CrossFit, I really found a love for it right away. And so my intended goal was like, okay, I really want to do this for a long time. I would love to make it a career and be able to do this as a job, because I don't want a 9-to-5 job and I don't want to sit at a computer all day. And I was like, I don't even know what I want to do. I never went to college. And so that was kind of like my goal going into it. And it's kind of stayed the same. Like I still want to use this as a stepping stone for being able to use this platform for other things, and, you know, be the cherry on top to get to the podium. But I think my mindset has changed with that a little bit, because in 2019 is when I got, I think, my best placement so far. So I got 8th. And I honestly wasn't really happy with it. And I couldn't really figure out why. And that's kind of when all the mindset stuff started to come into play. Because I was like, okay, it's what's going to really truly make me happy. It's not going to be a placement. It's not going to be money. It's not going to be any of that stuff. So I had to really dive in a little bit deeper of like what's truly going to bring me joy and happiness. And I love working out, and I always have. So I want to continue to do that as long as possible. But also it's just like the day in and day out that I really truly enjoy. So I just want to keep doing that.
So you keep on saying it's a stepping stone into other ventures and other opportunities and so on. And your training partner and obviously very good friend Kari Pearce has her Power Abs business and so on. So what is the plan for Bethany? You know, are you going to be professional until 65 plus, or what's the plan?
I do have a plan, but I'm also okay if the plan changes.
Yes.
But I want to do this for a couple more years, and I want to have kids. I want to have a family. And then if my body allows me to come back, which it has been proven over and over again by all the other amazing ladies that you can come back after having a baby. And if my body says yes, that's what I want to do, is because I love competing. I really, truly love just like being on the floor and competing. And I get that from gymnastics. But yeah, what was the other question? I'm so sorry. I got carried away and passionate about that.
No, but I'm enjoying it so much. No, I'm just saying, like, I hate asking this question, but I know, you know, I just want to imagine that somebody that's a professional athlete, is it possible for you to do this until the age of 65 plus, or what? Do you have another plan? Because you've been competing for so long, you're a born competitor, but somewhere along the line, maybe, hopefully not, you know, you'll get burned out mentally, or, you know, you just decide maybe something else. So what is that something else?
Yeah. So I definitely have a couple of other plans. So I have a clothing line coming out with Warm Primitive in January. So I'm super excited about that. And that's a cool adventure to kind of go down, and been working on that for about 2 years. So excited to see that kind of come into fruition. I definitely want to do something with my programming, with the accessory work and activation and warm up stuff. That's a huge passion of mine. And if you look on my Instagram, it's all over there.
That is all you do. There's actually one of my questions coming up, but cool. Let's address that now.
Yeah. But so I definitely want to do something with that. I'm just kind of waiting for right time, right people, maybe some investments, because I really want to do something really cool with it. And there's so many people that have programs out and websites and stuff. So I'm trying to figure out, how do I stick out amongst the others, right? And I think it's just going to come with just the right people kind of coming into my life. but I definitely want to pursue that and have that as something I'm going for. And then, yeah, whatever else comes from that. I would love to, I think like most people love to have their own gym. And then I would honestly, I haven't really told most people this. I've told a couple of people, but I want to write like a book or a devotion. I think that'd be really cool. So if that ever comes into fruition, then I would be really excited and happy about that. But yeah, I've been doing so much journaling the last 2 years. I've already filled up about 10 plus journals.
Wow.
And so I would love to, do something with that if possible.
Oh, speaking about it, and
we'll
putting it out there in the universe, it attracts the positive energy in the people. And specifically, with the job that you do, being an elite athlete, these opportunities come across your path because you are in the public eye, and people, would get positivity, and success attracts success. So talk to us about your sponsors. You are with Born Primitive. You said you have a clothing line, and you also posted about it with your other new training partner there, Alison. I know she's also a face for them. So your other sponsors, tell us about that. And building a relationship with your sponsors obviously is very important as well.
Yes. Yeah. I am so thankful for Cooper, my manager. He has definitely helped me just go way farther than I ever thought I would as far as like a career in CrossFit. So I can only give it up to him. And I've been with him for almost 5 years. And so he is definitely my trustworthy manager and friend that has just helped me so much in here. But yeah, I think it's really important. So I love having sponsorships inside of CrossFit, but also my goal is to have sponsorships and relationships with people that are outside of CrossFit. So I went into like the toe spacers, which at first they were like, CrossFit, I don't know about that. And we convinced them to kind of partner up with us. And it's been love at first sight after that. And they've kind of gotten into the CrossFit world. So that's been really cool. But yeah, I love being able to make relationships with other companies outside of CrossFit. That way, you just never know, right? I think all my sponsors are really amazing, but some of them are with the intention of competing, right? And so I want to be able to have these sponsorships post competing too, whenever that happens. And so I think that's just communicating with them, but also finding things outside of CrossFit. That way you can keep those for a long time.
Yeah. You spoke earlier about, the idea of maybe having children, not maybe, like you would like to have children one day, but you have a 4-legged fur baby.
I do.
Bella. I mean, Bella is almost more
here.
famous than you are. Oh, look at Bella. Hello, Bella. Oh man, she's so cute. Yes, mine sleep as well. So Bella, I mean, she's your first love. She's in all your videos and all your posts on Instagram. How old is Bella?
She's almost 7. She's my old lady. Oh, hopefully I'll get to keep her for a long time. But yeah, she's definitely my first love, and got a tattoo over on my elbows. So she'll always be a part of my life. I feel like everyone always has like that one dog or one pet that they're just like, I would do anything for. So she's definitely that one for me. And so, I love her.
I have my 2 doggies, the one on the left side and the one on the right side, both coming in for the evening.
Always by your side.
They're always by your side. Just a little bit of FOMO. And then the other thing I have to ask, another thing that's always with you is your Crocs. Is that a fashion statement? Is that a sponsorship? What is that about? Because some of us don't agree with your fashion statement there. I'm just kidding.
It's so funny. I've actually been wearing Crocs since I was like 16. Like one of my girlfriends that I've known for like 22 years, she was like, dude, I found this picture of you. You have your Crocs on. And I was like, I know, because I've always loved them. I don't really have like a deeper meaning. A lot of people ask me, I'm like, I really don't have a deeper meaning. They're just really comfortable. And so people that have never tried them on, that's your issue right there. You just never tried them on. So you don't know how comfortable they are.
Honestly, I have, and I can't. I just can't. No.
You have to try them on.
I have worn them a few times. I tried, and no, that card is not.
It's not for everybody, right?
It's not for everybody. Definitely not for me.
Yeah, no, I just love them, and they're just super comfortable, easy to put on, and then it's fun to just be silly and like do them in workouts whenever I can. I always try to like tell people if I ever get an opportunity at the CrossFit Games to wear them, I definitely
Wow. Okay.
am going to. So I got to at stage one, but of course it wasn't in person. It was during the handstand hold that we had to do. I was like, I'm wearing them. I'm wearing the Crocs. I mean, why not? If you still have me not to. So, but I would have done it probably this year for the handstand walk course for sure, for sure.
Oh my word.
So
Okay.
maybe
No.
I'll get another opportunity, but
Okay, but now you
yeah,
have to
it's
make
just a
sure that
silly thing.
you have to heal up good so we can see you,
I
rocking
know.
your Crocs. I mean, your training partner Danielle Brand has also gotten a name
Oh,
for
she killed it.
spouting some awesome kicks. So you guys can
Oof,
can play it up
yeah,
with your shoes.
for sure. But yeah,
Listen,
not a sponsor, but I want it to be a sponsor. And I'm like, I'm waiting and hoping, and I'm like, I still love you even if you don't love me. So one day, one day.
we'll tag them in this interview and
Yeah,
hopefully somebody will
there we go.
listen. There's your sponsorship after your CrossFit Games career.
Please.
I mean, there you go. There you go. Listen, I didn't want to chat about it, but I just want to ask when you were, I know you were very, very sick when you got COVID during the games.
Yeah.
Did you not watch during it? I know you were very ill, so obviously you were sleeping a lot,
Yeah.
but did you have a
Yeah.
chance? Did you want to? Was it too hard?
Yeah. At first I didn't want to, but and then yeah, I was really sick.
Mm.
I was literally sleeping the first 3 days. I didn't eat or anything. I was just so sick. But when I got back home, I was like, I was really bored and I was like, I kind of want to watch it. So I watched it. I wasn't planning on it, but I just wanted to kind of see what the workouts were and stuff. So looked like a really fun weekend. Really sad I didn't get to compete, but that's okay. It's all right.
And watching Danielle, I mean, obviously she just dominated and took all the adversity and just made the best of it.
Yeah.
I mean, how proud were you as a training partner?
Oh yeah. I mean, I can only imagine how it was just being able, I mean, she got tested multiple times a day and then, having to wear a mask and then being like an outsider, having to be pushed to the side. I would have been really, really tough. So super proud of her just for getting 11th and being able to push through and like staying in it, keeping her head straight throughout the whole weekend. And that was cool too for her because that was her first like full games experience because she got cut in 2019. And then of course, 2020 was just like 5 events that we got to do. So I'm glad that she was able to get through like a full weekend and kind of just experience it because there's really nothing like it. And the more experience you have with something like that, with like 15 different events and 4-day competition, like it's just going to make you that much better. And she's already super talented. It's amazing how talented she is. So hopefully she can use that experience to do even better this coming year. So, but really proud of her for sure.
With the group of phenomenal athletes in Vegas now training together, talk to us about that dynamic of these. You guys are a bunch of phenomenal athletes, but just a day to day, you train together, but being active and chasing each other is one thing, but it's the moments in between, talking to each other, encouraging other, giving advice, because you're going through so much of the same thing every single day, but this is your job. You have highs and lows, and talk to us about that relationship.
Yeah, I think what we have in Vegas is really special. There isn't really like a huge group of girls working out together in one place, and we have now about 6 of us training together, just women. So, and then we have like a couple of guys, of course, too. But it's been really cool. And Justin, yeah.
I said poor Justin.
Oh yes, I know. And then he's got, his wife too, and like his 4-year-old daughter too that's up there. So he's got a lot of estrogen kind of surrounding him right now.
He likes it.
But oh, he does. He does a really good job with us all. But yeah, it's a really special thing that we're getting an opportunity to take advantage of. And I feel like all the girls have a really level head, which I think is really important. And I think Kari has really set the tone for the gym because she's more in that leadership role. She's the oldest one, and she's been in the game the longest. And I think that's really important. If you don't have a strong leader that kind of sets the tone, then that's where the chaos kind of happens. But she really truly leaves the ego at the door. I know that's such a cliche saying, but she does a really good job of not bringing ego into the gym. And because of that, we all follow suit. So it's really cool to see that dynamic. And then all three of us, so like Kari, Danielle, and I grew up as gymnasts. So we're kind of used to like being around a bunch of girls and kind of going for like the same goal. And I think people were like, well, isn't that kind of weird? And I was like, no, like that's normal. Like we grew up doing that. And like, if anything, it really helps. You can't just, I don't know, you can't do this alone. You really can't. But yeah, it's just been really cool because we have like a 14-year-old coming to train with us, which is really, really cool. And then we have, our youngest that comes in is 20, and then Kari's 33. So we really have the full dynamic there. And so we're all at different stages in our life. And it's just been really cool to see the encouragement that comes with the group. And there really isn't a bad seed. Like I'm so thankful for that because, with a bunch of girls can come cattiness and drama and envy and just comparison. But we all have done a really good job of just leaving that at the door and coming in and celebrating each other's victories and just kind of helping each other out and grow and strengthen together. So there's strength in numbers, and that's really shown at Underdogs for sure.
And it's a friendship and also a sisterhood. Kari told me a story that she said that what you did for her in the first stage of the 2020 games is you let her go second after you guys if each one of you had to go first on the weekend. So that is a sisterhood. It's having your sisters back, even though you both have the same goal.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I think she really wants everyone to be at their best because she wants to beat you at our best. Yeah. She doesn't want to beat you because you don't know what's going on or you don't know how to do something or you don't feel good that day. Like she wants everyone to be at her best. And so, that's been really cool. And just the bond and the friendship that I made with her last year was something that I'll take, forward for the rest of my career in CrossFit and hopefully be able to pay it forward. That's kind of my goal in CrossFit. Is what she did for me last year was just really cool. And she was like, well, I dedicate, 2020 to you. And I was like, well, I dedicate 2021 to you because I can only be thankful for everything that she's done for me. So I just want to pay it forward and be able to give that to the other younger athletes that we have at our gym.
And being able to compete next to the third fittest woman on earth 2020, of course, and throwing it down with your training partner at the semifinals. Talk to us about that, because it was a race, but all three of you got to compete together. I mean, even from a spectator's point of view, it was so exciting to watch, and I could see you girls were really, really, really having fun.
Yeah, no, that was such a cool experience. I think that it could have gone two ways, right? And it went a really good way, but having all three of us at one semifinals was kind of like, all right, we're going to take a little bit of a risk. Let's do it. And it luckily worked out very well with us placing 1, 2, and 3. And so it was honestly like a whole nother just week of training for us because we really, truly pushed that hard in the gym every day when we're training together. So it was kind of cool to see that dynamic push even more like during a competition. But it was a lot of fun. I'm glad that we got to have that experience together.
So for the rest of the season, you said you didn't do the last event of the Zelos Games, but you are pushing towards Wodapalooza. So you said the beginning of the season. When is the start of the season for you guys? When does that start?
Goodness.
It starts in January? Because I mean, the Open is a few months ago. The Open is around the corner.
Yeah. I think it's in February, if I stand corrected. But honestly, we probably won't know until 2022 actually happens. But as far as I know, it happens in February, and they're going to have it the same way as far as the Open, quarterfinals, semifinals, games. But they could also change that. So that's the beauty of CrossFit, is the unknown.
Yeah, and they have been changing it a lot. So it
Yes.
it is kind
I
of
think they have the right idea. I think they're going to continue just to tweak it just a tiny bit and a tiny bit. So they really find something that works.
Yeah.
But I think they're on the right path now. They're on the right path. And I think we have to remember too, like, even though it's been around for 10 plus years now, like it's still in the newborn stage ish. So I think it's going to take more time. And we're kind of like the pioneers right now, kind of the guinea pigs of what's going on. And so hopefully, you know, in 10 plus years from now that they have everything that they need, and, you know, athletes are getting paid more, and, you know, it's just a better route for people to take, but someone's got to be the pioneer. And so here we are.
Yeah, and you spoke about money, and it's such a sensitive but important matter to talk about, because when you're a professional elite athlete, you have to get some form of income, enough income to sustain your training, you know, have the correct and the right amount of food. There's so much, you know, expenses that happens with being an elite athlete. So I think a lot of these competitions have really stepped up the game, even if it's online competitions, the payout checks for the people that place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's really getting interesting. When you look at your next season, you said you're looking towards Wodapalooza if you're healthy and your body agrees with it. What other comps are you looking at to do in 2022? That's not, you know, obviously semifinals and the games and so on.
That's it for me. I'm kind of at the point in my career where less is more. It takes me honestly a long time to recover from a competition, even if it's just a 2-day competition, just the emotional highs and lows that go on throughout the day during a competition. And so for me, I can't do it. And, you know, kudos to people that can, but my body, you know, just doesn't like it that much. So I have to be really smart about what I do throughout the year. And I would love to do more because the love of competing, but my body says no. So you got to listen to your body. But yeah, the main focus is just getting back to the CrossFit Games, competing there, and just doing the best that I can. But more importantly, just having another healthy year and like feeling really good throughout the year. So that is the main goal for me.
Body awareness, this the accessories that you're doing, the accessory work that you're constantly posting on Instagram, which is very helpful, by the way, for the people that follow you.
Thank you.
Is the reason behind that? Is it just because it works so well for you? Because you really, we rarely see a video of you actually like doing a workout, but it's mostly it's accessory work. It's those important things that we all neglect.
You know, I found a huge joy for it a long time ago. And I kind of just use Instagram as more of like a workout diary for myself. But yeah, I do find like that's the issue with, I guess, competing at a higher level, or even just like lower level CrossFit, is there's a lot that goes into it. You're using your full body every single time. You're Olympic weightlifting, you're running, you're squatting, you're doing all this stuff, gymnastics. And so it is really important to warm up correctly, activate the right muscles. And that's why I really enjoyed coaching when I did coach, because I was like, all right, if you're in my class, it's going to be 90 minutes because we're going to do an actual warm up and activate the right muscles and do a cool down. So I think people did really appreciate that. But yeah, I think that there is something to be said about activating correctly and just getting everything moving and grooving. And there's just, there's a lot that goes into CrossFit. So, but I truly enjoy it. And I could stay in there literally all day and just do that stuff, which is very weird, but I love doing it. So hopefully that shows on Instagram.
Well, it pays off. You had a very successful 2021 season, didn't end the way you wanted it, but your niggles, are you obviously seeing a bunch of, you know, people that's helping you with these irritations and niggles and rolled ankles, so unnecessary.
Yeah, definitely. That was like a hard thing for me. So like when I moved from Austin to here, I had some body workers that I had been working with basically my whole career. So that was very like, oh, that sucks. It's hard to trust people fully with your body sometimes, especially like if they know your body, if you've been working with someone for like 6 years. So that was tough, but I finally found a couple of people to work on me here, and it's just so important. And I think I just kind of realized that after basically 8 months of just working on myself. There's only so much that you can do for yourself, and it's important to do it by yourself and do your homework, but it's also important to get body work done and get people to push on you and put needles in you and just recover as best as possible. Because at this point in the game, it's just about, like I said, staying healthy and being healthy. And the longer I can do that, the longer I can compete and train. So it's just important for me to stay healthy.
Bethany, if people want to follow you on social media, you're very, very active on Instagram. Where else? And what is your Instagram handle if they want to see you do your accessory work? And of course, Bella.
Yeah. Mostly on Instagram. I just don't do the TikTok thing. I just, me and dancing and singing just don't get along. So I just stay off of that one.
You're in Vegas, Bethany. You're in Vegas, man. Seriously, get some tail feathers. Get some tail feathers and some nipple caps.
Oh my gosh. But mostly just Instagram. My handle's Bethany CF. So it's pretty easy. Bethany, basically CrossFit. And it's connected to Facebook, but I usually don't get on Facebook either that much. But yeah, Instagram is my home right now. So that's usually what I use.
Do you have a program yet, or is this still something that's in the pipeline?
It's in the pipeline. I hope to have it soon. Hopefully this year. We're in the works of it, of either trying to get an app together or a website together, but that will be amazing once that finally comes into play. But really excited to get that show on the road for sure.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Just Elite. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and please, please, please leave a comment.